First, we're going to discuss the benefits of listing inventory or a listing portfolio and why every listing agent or every agent needs to have one. Second, we'll walk through the right way to post and repost to Craigslist to avoid the spam and the scams. Third, we'll review the simple two-step process of adding a listing to the listing portfolio. Then we'll review the results of posting to Craigslist. And finally, we'll set in accountability measures. So we've got a lot to cover, so let's get started. Now, I will be asking a couple questions throughout. Anytime you see the blue question mark, that means it's your turn to answer. So our first question is, how often should you add a new listing to the listing portfolio on your website? Take a moment, answer that question for me, and I'll be back to share your answers in just a moment. And please do answer that way, at least I know you guys can hear me. All right, so I got a number of answers here. So Debbie says every time we get a new listing. Kelly says the same thing, every time you get a new one. Angel says upon adding to the MLS. Good. Thank you for your answers, by the way. I appreciate that feedback. Now, listings are a critical component in your online marketing success. And your listing inventory or your listing portfolio is a reflection of your business. So to be successful, you must maintain a listing portfolio showcasing the homes you want to sell. Doing that will attract the prospects that you want to work with. Your listing portfolio will be a key resource to generating traffic. Throughout the Academy, these listings will be used to drive traffic and generate business through strategies involving mobile marketing, social media marketing such as Facebook, and even Craigslist. This means you should be adding one new listing per week to your listing portfolio. So we always have new inventory to market. And new inventory is important for two reasons. One, buyers today are searching the internet for an average of 3 months before working with an agent. The legitimacy of an agent might come into question if a prospect notices that the listing inventory hasn't changed over those 3 months. Two, new inventory gives us properties to market. So keep a listing portfolio fresh and representative of the types of homes you would typically sell. Now, if you have a listing, of course, showcase that listing in your listing portfolio. But what if the listings you currently have don't represent the type of home you typically sell? And some realtors also get concerned when we talk about listing inventory because they may not have any listings, or they may be a buyer's agent. As a buyer's agent, you must showcase homes if you're going to capture a buyer's attention. Options are available for every realtor to maximize their listing portfolio, and they include a sold gallery. Now, buyers and sellers like to work with an agent that can get the job done. So show me those sales successes. And borrowing listings. Now, borrowing listings will broaden your inventory, especially if you wish to focus on a specific type of home. And when borrowing listings, make sure you follow the guidelines that your MLS provides. So with most boards, you can borrow a listing as long as you credit the real estate agent and the brokerage somewhere on that listing. Maybe in the listing description, you might say listing courtesy of Joe Smith at Coldwell Banker. Some boards are stricter, so you may want to double check with them, make sure that whatever guidelines they have, if you borrow listings, that you follow those guidelines. Again, we want to borrow listings so that we can attract the buyers and sellers that you want to work with. To do that, you need to have the types of homes that will attract them. And today I'll demonstrate exactly how homes draw specific buyers and sellers to your site. That's where Craigslist comes in. So why Craigslist? Well, Craigslist is the #9 most visited website in the U.S. With 30 billion page views per month, your clients are visiting Craigslist. Real estate is the second most searched category following jobs on Craigslist. This means Craigslist is one of the largest real estate directories on the planet. Unlike other real estate directories, Craigslist does not automatically display every listing in the MLS. Therefore, your listing has more buyer visibility, making Craigslist a huge traffic driver for buyers. Even if you have $1 million home, post it to Craigslist. Everyone from first-time home buyers to millionaires are searching on Craigslist, especially since investors have been major players in the recent market. Plus, the traffic to your website may help your search engine ranking. And finally, it's free. So nobody has an excuse good enough to get out of posting to Craigslist. Now, I do understand spam and scams have made Craigslist scary to some, but these can be avoided if you do what we talk about doing today. So I'd like to know where everyone is at. So have you posted to Craigslist before, and what resulted from your post? Take a second, answer that question for me, and I'll share some of your answers in just a moment. All right, so I got a couple of responses. So Debbie says, I've sold some personal items, but have not yet posted listings. Okay, that's fine. Kelly says, yes, and she got several good leads out of it. Perfect. And John says he has posted to Craigslist, but he hasn't gotten any deals as a result of it. So there's a little bit of a mixture there. So that's pretty typical. So you're going to have you are going to get some things happening from it. Sometimes you won't get anything happening from it, but if you're consistent, you'll see results from Craigslist. So it's that consistency that's important. Now, Craigslist will provide immediate and long-term traffic, as well as tremendous exposure for the listings. And if you've had a bad experience with Craigslist, you may not have been posting the right way. So today I'm going to show you how to get results and how to post to Craigslist. So let's go post a listing now. So keep in mind a printable step-by-step guide is available at z57support.com in our help center. Again, z57.com. z57support.com, excuse me. So focus on taking notes on the overall posting process, but don't worry about all those small details. To begin, in PropertyPulse, you click on the Listings tab and locate which listing you'd like to post on Craigslist. And off to the right in these columns, the second one under this action column, this little arrow is for Craigslist. And now you could scroll down the page if you want to review what the listing will look like. Once you confirm all the details, right up here you're going to see two buttons, HTML and plain text. Now, Craigslist used to read HTML. They don't anymore. Other websites still do, so we do allow this to still be here for those other websites that may be able to read the HTML. Since Craigslist does not, you'll want to click the button that says plain. And it just gives you a plain text version of that description of that property. So you click inside of here, after you highlight the text, you right-click, and you copy. and then you click here, it will take you right into the login page for Craigslist. So after you've logged in, you'll be on a page like this. To begin, you would select New Posting. The first step for a new post is to select the city or posting region that the listing is in. Second, you'll be asked to select the posting type. So for residential realty, select housing offered. Third, choose the posting category. So for almost all listings, you'll select real estate by broker. It is very important that you post listings in the correct category. So for commercial properties, be sure to select office and commercial. Now we're looking at the posting form. So immediately locate the posting body right here, and we would right-click and paste. That'll place the property description in the box. Doing that first ensures you don't lose that text that we copied a few moments ago. I do want to take a moment to discuss the posting title and the specific location. Your posting title needs to capture your prospect's attention. Craigslist is designed as a bulletin board in which all the postings in a category are first displayed by title only. This means your title is key to getting the buyer to click and view that property. So be bold. Focus on the best property features to sell that home. If there's something particularly nice about it, beautiful view, that might be your title. Huge backyard, beautiful kitchen, something that makes people want to look at it. Other things you could say, again, the goal is to capture attention. What I tend to see on Craigslist is this: 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Next one down is 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Next one down is 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom house. On and on and on and on. Right? So the one that stands out is going to get people to stop and take a look. So some other taglines you could use or posting titles would be, click for the hottest house in San Diego. Or find your next house, click here with your mouse. Pass up this gem of a deal. Again, the goal is to get them to stop and look. If the home leaves something to be desired, you might just say, great investment opportunity. And don't be afraid to have a little fun with it. Again, your goal is to get people to look at it. If it stands out, people will stop and look. So you might say, click to live like a rock star. And please note, don't use punctuation marks in the posting title. Craigslist doesn't like it. Now, in addition to the posting title, the location field is important as it allows you to specify where the property is located. So you type the city or town if you're posting to a broad region on Craigslist. But for a large metropolitan area like Los Angeles, where there may be thousands of listings, use the location field to hyperlocate that listing. So in Los Angeles, for example, using the location of Bel Air allows buyers who are just looking for properties in Bel Air to narrow it down and easily find your property. Always be sure the location is something any buyer would search for. With the posting title and the location complete, I want to address how to prevent the spam and the scams from Craigslist. So if it's not already present, you type in your email address and select no replies to this email. By selecting no replies to this email, your email address won't display on the post, which forces prospects who want to contact you to use the links to go to your website. Most importantly, spammers and scammers can't get at your email in Craigslist. Next, we do want to complete the following 4 fields only. So the price, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, and the housing type. These fields are important as clients will search for homes using those items as criteria in their search. For the greatest success, leave the other fields blank, thereby forcing an interested prospect to click back through to the website for those details. Finally, on the very bottom, you don't see it on the slide, but on the very, very bottom it will ask you to fill in your address. Fill that in as Craigslist will provide a map search. And you would simply click the Continue button to move forward. Next, Craigslist will ask you to confirm the street address is mapped correctly. If it is, simply click on Continue. Then you'll be asked to upload images for the post. I suggest using 1 to 3 photos, although Craigslist will allow you to do more. But I suggest 1 to 3 as we want them to have to go to your website for the additional photos. Again, the goal of the Craigslist ad is to get them from Craigslist to your website. If I want to see that beautiful backyard, I may need to then go to your website to check it out. And then you would click on Done with Images. And there we are. So an example of what a professional ad could look like on Craigslist. Now it looks great, but the post is not yet visible to the public. So you would then click Continue, which again is cut off on the slide, but it's on the bottom. And Craigslist will ask you to verify and confirm the post through an email or by telephone. It's important to complete that step or the posting will not appear on Craigslist. Practice makes perfect. Posting to Craigslist will become very fast if you practice with a few listings. So your personal challenge from this course is to get 5 listings on Craigslist this week. That may mean borrowing a few listings if you don't have 5 listings. But we need some diversity on there. And once the listing is posted to Craigslist, you need to repost the listing twice a week. As we discussed a moment ago, Craigslist is a bulletin board. For results to occur, you need to stay at the top of that bulletin board. Lucky for you, reposting is a one-click process with no copy or paste steps involved. To repost, after you log into your Craigslist account, you're immediately presented with your postings. And every 48 hours, a renew option is made available for each posting. You simply click Renew, and your listing is right back at the top of the Craigslist postings. You'll know you successfully reposted when you see the green box that says this posting has been renewed. So you need to renew twice a week for 30 days if you're going to see results. We recommend a Tuesday, Friday posting and reposting schedule, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Additionally, for you smartphone users, you can repost anywhere by downloading a Craigslist app, which is a definite time saver. Posting to Craigslist, of course, requires that the listings are added to the Z57 Listing Manager. So let's review how to add listings now. So in PropertyPulse, the Listing tab will allow you to add, update, and manage your listing portfolio. To add a new listing, you click on Add/Import Listings. And you'll get 2 choices, manual entry and easy import from MLS. I'm going to start with manual entry. So the manual entry option is the fastest way to market and showcase the property after the listing contract is signed. And it's the only way if the property is outside the MLS. So the first step is just adding in the listing address. We recommend opening the MLS in another window or tab so that information is readily available to you to copy and paste. And then when you select Continue, you just proceed in adding in the remaining listing details. Again, to quickly add a listing, we recommend simply copying and pasting in the listing details from the MLS. And your mindset when adding listings should be less is more. Before uploading the photos, save the listing on the bottom of the page. That way we know all your work is safe and secure. And then you hit Select Album Images to do the images. Now you'll be presented with the album selector. Creating a unique album for each listing and uploading the images into the album makes this a very simple process. We do recommend that you use the listing address as the album name. You would have to click New Album to actually get here to type this in. Then you click Add Files down here. And your pictures pop up and you can simply drag them over. So you can load multiple photos at one time. Once they're uploaded, all the property photos and albums can be managed and edited through the Image Manager link on the left. Easy import from MLS is the second way to add a listing. Now, this option is available for participating MLS associations only. So if your MLS association is in this drop-down list, easy import's available and listings can be imported from the MLS directly. Now, for some associations, you can specify the status of the listing that you wish to import. Sold listings are not made available per MLS rules. Then you type in the agent ID right here, which for most of you will be your ID. But if you are borrowing a listing and you know that agent's ID, you can put in their ID number here. If you are borrowing and you don't know their agent ID, you can simply put in the MLS number for the specific listing you'd like to borrow. Then you come over here, you check this box to save the settings, right? Save that ID and that board. And then you would click on Generate List. And you'll see all the listings here. So if you were going to put all the listings in, you'd hit Select All. And then there's an Import button. It cuts off on the slide, but there would be an Import button on the very bottom. It would import all of them. Again, if you're borrowing from somebody else, maybe you didn't want all of their listings, just check the ones that you do want. And leave unchecked the ones you don't. And then import. So Craigslist produces immediate traffic. Your lead-generating website is designed to effectively service that traffic and capture a lead. So as long as traffic continues, leads will follow. But traffic is the first step. So the analytics area of your website will allow you to track traffic to your site. Straightforward. Across all websites for any industry, traffic is converted to leads, on average, at a 2% conversion rate. Meaning for every 100 visitors, on average, you'll generate 2 leads. So traffic is the first step in capturing a lead. And the analytics we're looking at here are real. I did want to give you some insight on exactly how Craigslist benefits your business. So this client had posted to Craigslist on August 6th of 2013. And they saw a spike in traffic. And that was just for that one day, right? Not over the course of a week. It was just a big spike one day. So we can confirm where the visitors originated from by selecting sources and keywords on the top. Sources and keyword stats allow you to segment our total traffic, grouping visitors by source. So let's focus on the traffic just from the day that we posed by limiting the results to just that day. So the start date and the end date are both August 6th. And then show graph. And see down here we got 4 visitors on that day from Craigslist. So it's like 22% of their traffic. And those are just people that click the ad. They actually click from the ad through to the website. And traffic is affected by many factors. So listing quality, the market, the time of year, as well as the number of listings posted to Craigslist. And at first glance, those results might seem light, but over time and with consistency in implementing the strategy, the results become more meaningful. So 4 unique visits a day would be, in a month, 120 unique visits. And in a year, that totals 1,440 unique visits. Visitors convert to leads at a 2% conversion rate. So from our 1,440 unique visitors, we would have close to 28 leads just from Craigslist alone. What would you think if I told you that that's coming from just one listing? I want you to post 5 listings on Craigslist. Again, you may need to borrow a few. And of course, this isn't our only traffic strategy. But lead capture, it's a numbers game. The more traffic to your website, the more leads you'll capture. Again, this is just one of many strategies designed to drive traffic to your website and capture leads. But you have to remember, it's not all roses and butterflies. Follow the strategies that we put in place together, and you must implement each strategy, not just once and give up. Results are not going to happen overnight. But over time, consistently executing these strategies will ultimately produce consistent long-term results. So my personal challenge to each of you is to post 5 listings to Craigslist. Traffic and leads require staying at the top of Craigslist by posting and then reposting the ads every Tuesday and Friday. Don't post more than that. Craigslist will block you if you're too eager. Also, don't post more than 5 listings to Craigslist at a time, as that may cause you to get blocked. To hold you accountable to your Craigslist posting strategy, I want you to add 2 recurring events to your calendar on Tuesdays and Fridays. So on Tuesdays, post or repost to Craigslist. But also add a new listing to your listing manager. Again, in many cases, it'll be a borrowed listing. But keep that inventory fresh. On Friday, post or repost to Craigslist again. A printable posting and reposting instruction guide is available in our campus, which is at z57support.com. And the entire team of ZPro On-Demand consultants is also available to provide you additional coaching and motivation should you need it. So at this point, I would like to open up the floor. If you have a question about anything we've covered today, please submit them through the question box. If there are no questions, that's fine. I'll be back to wrap up in just a last, say a minute or so. All right, so a few questions came in. So Jade says, how often did you say before Craigslist would block your posts? If you try to do more, the same listings more than twice a week, like try to renew them, it won't let you. Also, if you try to do more than 5 at a time. So if you do 5 listings, you try to do number 6, it will often, not always, but often will block you. So Kelly asks about borrowing listings. She says it's not a practice that she's familiar with in her area. So it depends on the area. Most areas allow it, but borrowing listings, If you're borrowing from within your office, which is what most people will do, is I do recommend asking the real estate agent, asking the broker, and they will usually, in most cases, they'll say, sure, borrow the listing. They want their listing to be advertised. They want to sell the listing. Right? So if you're helping them by advertising it on your website and advertising on Craigslist, you're just helping them sell it faster. For you, potentially, you get to work as the buyer's agent, or if nothing else, it generates you the traffic to your website and potential leads that you end up selling a different house to 3 months down the road. Right? So I would ask, if you're borrowing from outside your office, again, it depends on your board's rules. With a lot of boards, you don't have to ask if you put in the name of the realtor and the brokerage in the description. But I would recommend checking with your broker or checking with your MLS just to make sure what the guidelines are. There's a few boards where you do have to get written permission, and a few other boards that you don't need written permission, but you have to say more than just the name and the brokerage. So I would always check with your board for their guidelines to make sure you're following the right set of rules on that. So there's a question, could there be too many listings in a portfolio? I don't know if I'd say that necessarily that there's too many, but you know, if you had 20 listings or something in there, it might be more, it might be a little overwhelming for people. So I don't have a set number that I necessarily suggest that you have at any given time. We recommend at least 5 is a good number, but I'd say 5 to 10 at any given point is nice just to have a little bit of variety for people. But if you had more than that, that wouldn't necessarily be a negative thing at all. You know, the more listings you have, the more potential you have that someone's going to bite on one of them. But, you know, there probably is some number where you'd say, well, at 50 listings or 30 listings or whatever, where people won't look at all of them anyway. But I don't have an exact number for you. There's a question about the notes. The webinars, we're in the process this week and part of last week of recording some of the webinars so that we can have them on z57support.com hopefully sometime next week. So we are recording them to be able to get them in front of you guys so you can watch them again if you want to. Now, if you missed the first part of our course today, register for the course again. To retake a course, just locate the course schedule at our z57support.com website. And that just about wraps up our webcast for today, so I thank you for attending. You were a great audience. It was my pleasure to host. Our moderator, Jenny, will be available for another minute or so after I'm done speaking, just in case another question comes in while I'm talking. When you exit the webcast, a survey will pop up on the screen. Your feedback is always appreciated. We love your feedback. And as a reminder, you always have access to support at Z57, so take note of the different ways you can get a hold of our team and the hours of operation. And remember, your Z-Pro team is also great at coaching you to help you achieve the best possible results with your program. So thank you for your time, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks.